Yeah. Uh-huh. You know what it is. Fight Fiend, Fight Fiend, Fight Fiend, Fight Fiend. Yeah. Uh-huh. You know what it is. Everything I do, yeah, I do it big. And we're back for another week, ready to attack the bookies. Let's get it. UFC Vegas 113 at the now called Meta Apex is what we are here to break down and forecast. 13 fights at the Meta Apex. Starting it off with the women's fight. Before we get going, check the links in the description below if you want in on all the bets this week. Early access to the picks, confidence levels, method of victories, the forecasted percentage versus implied probability on the odds. So then you can see if we have an edge on these picks and if we're going to bet them. So check all the links in the description below. Smash that like button before we get going. And suplex that subscribe button if you have not yet. Stay forecasted. We're back on Friday for the Prop Fiend show. 9 p.m. Eastern time. Be there. Be square. Me and Prelim Tim are going to be sharp this week. I've been 0 for 3 the last 2 Prop Fiend shows. And I know that's not acceptable. So let's crack one, pour one, and have a ton of fun like we do each and every week. No hype, though. No hype. Absolutely no hype. We're just here for the picks. 11 for 13 last week. We're getting down to business. Only 2 picks wrong. One was tied to Avasa. What was I doing taking that pick? I mean, if you listen back to my prediction, I was pretty confident he could get it done. Unfortunately, he didn't. I put my money where my mouth was. And, yeah. He didn't win. But we had a ton of fun. A ton of fun. Always entertainment here at the Fight Fiend forecast. Now, the first fight is going to be entertainment. We got Priscila, zombie girl, Cachoeira back in action. Now, I remember the last time. I do remember that last fight with Jocelyn Edwards. She got knocked out round 1 pretty bad. I picked her as the dog of the week. Made a nice little edit for her. A little short video. It didn't turn out so good, you know. In this fight, though, I might have to pick her again. First fight of the night, Brazilian women's underdog. She's fighting a girl, Klaudia Sygula, 7-2, who's coming off a decision win to 5-2 Irene Alexeyeva. Before that, she was knocked out to Melissa Mullins, who's 6-1. And before that, it was a 5-9 win by knockout, a 1-0 win by knockout, a 5-2 decision win, which was almost 4 years ago. I don't think Sygula's that good. She's really pretty. She's very good looking. She's 10 years younger in this fight. But I don't think she's a good mixed martial artist. I think Priscila Cachoeira is going to be moving forward, more aggressive. I don't think she's getting knocked out in this fight and caught like she did in that last fight to Jocelyn Edwards. And I don't think she's getting Darce choked like she did to Jasmine Jasudavicius, my Canadian. And she's not getting armbarred to Miranda Maverick. So I think she does have a serious chance to win this fight by a judge's decision, if it goes there, or she finds the knockout like she did against Ariana Lipski, Josiana Nunes, that vicious uppercut only 10 months ago. I think Priscila Cachoeira has the finishing upside here. Maybe she finds her first ever submission. Who knows? You know, I think in her 14th win professionally, it's over Sygula in this fight. First fight of the night at the Meta Apex. I'm going zombie girl. Dog of the week, probably not. I said I'm not going to take a women's fighter as a dog of the week, lock of the week ever again. I better be a man of my word, but I am confident, high confidence, in the zombie girl to get this win. So the next fight, on the prelims, we're going to take a look at Muin Gafurov and Jakub Wiklacz. And this is a fight I'm not confident in. You look at Jakub Wiklacz, the Polish fighter, in his last fight, he beat Patchy Mix, split decision. Unfortunately, I locked in Patchy Mix in that fight to get the win. He lost a split decision. And honestly, Jakub didn't look that good. There was holes in his game. And I don't know if he can beat a guy like Muin Gafurov, who's moving forward, more power in the shots, and well experienced. He's 20-6 and on a 2-fight win streak. He just beat Rinya Nakamura as a big underdog by unanimous decision. Nakamura was 9-0 and a huge favorite in that fight, and Gafurov pulled it off in a coin flip fight. I would not be shocked if he pulls it off. I'm actually picking Muin Gafurov to pull it off. He beat another good South Korean fighter. His 2 losses, though, little suspect. He lost to John Castaneda, UFC debut. Obviously, the debut jitters can be a problem. Certainly it wasn't for Wiklacz. He went in there and got the win, split decision. But now I feel like he's due for a loss against Muin Gafurov after a win he might not have deserved. He is the same age as Muin Gafurov, and once again, this is not a fight I'm overly confident in. I will side with Muin Gafurov to push forward, hit heavier, and get the win. Likely on the judges' scorecard. Jacob has not shown me that he's willing to quit and that he has too big of a hole in this game that he will get finished versus a guy like Muin Gafurov. I don't think the skill gap is that wide, but I think Muin Gafurov squeezes it out here on the judges' scorecard. Now the next one, looking to get a little bit more confidence in the picks, but it's another women's fight, and we got Wang Cong, back in action, 8-1 here, versus Eduarda Moura from Brazil. She is training with Jailton Almeida, who's on the card. She is 12-1, and I gotta say, there's value in this pick. Women's underdog here, and there's plus money. Now, you gotta think she's 12-1. Bookie's kind of not respecting her, with the line being plus 170. Off a win to old Lauren Murphy, unanimous decision, who was inactive. She beat Veronica Hardy 9-4 by a decision. And then she lost to Denise Gomes, split decision. She can get taken down and controlled, and her takedowns, if they're not working, can be a problem on the feet. She's fighting a girl in Wang Cong who's fought Valentina Shevchenko. She's fighting a girl in Wang Cong, the Joker, that is going to style on the feet and be the much better kickboxer and striker in this fight, and the skill gap is way too wide on the feet. If it goes to the ground, Kong Wang is probably just as good as Eduarda Moura, so Moura's path to victory is minimal in this fight, which is why she is a plus 170 underdog. In my opinion, I'm picking Wang Cong to get the win here, but we did see her get not smoked. She got dropped, and then she got submitted to Gabrielle Fernandez. 9-3 is Gabrielle Fernandez, and 12-1 is Eduarda Moura. I don't know how good she really is for 12-1. Level of competition, her wins in her last 3, not the best. An old Monstrat Ruiz is in there, knocked her out with the ground and pound on the Contender Series, got a layup, 5-0 green prospect. She never really fought a high-level girl, where Wang Kong's been in there with Valentina Shevchenko. She just beat Bruna Brazil, unanimous decision. Ariana Lipsky, unanimous decision. I think she's fought the upper echelon competition too here. Kong Wang. She's the pick. Not overcomplicating it and not betting it, most likely. Hit the links in bio below if you're willing to join to see the bets. Said Nurmagomedov and Javid Basharat is another fight I'm probably going to avoid on the bets here. Another low confidence pick. Basharat brothers are the picks for me this week. Both of them. I'm not willing to put my money on it either. I think it's a close decision win. Nurmagomedov, I think he's a little bit too low output, and he's going to be inaccurate with his attempts, rather if it's shooting for takedowns or spinning attacks on the feet. I think Javid Basharat is too technical. He has a better fighter's IQ in this fight as well. Reason being he's favored in this fight to get the win. Both off 2 consecutive losses. I think Basharat's more willing to get back into the win column. He's more seasoned on the feet. He's a better striker. He's not going to do fancy stuff, crazy stuff like Said Nurmagomedov, which might get Said Nurmagomedov caught. You got a hungry, mean Basharat brother in here off 2 losses, looking for the win. Yeah, he just got knocked out in his last fight, but he's the type of guy just to go to a decision dominator. Now that he's pissed off and mean, he could go out there and look for a finish. This could be the best Basharat version we've seen yet, but it could be the worst too. He just got knocked out pretty bad to Ricky Simone. Chin might not hold up. He easily could get knocked out to Said Nurmagomedov. He could get caught on the ground by a submission. Saeed Nurmagomedov could latch one of those submissions up pretty easy. The guillotine choke is nasty. He has a couple of those. His last 2 wins come by guillotine. And on the feet, he is tricky to deal with at times. So this is a fight I'm not getting overly invested in. I could see Javid Basharat losing, getting finished, rather if it's on the ground or on the feet. But official prediction, I'm going to say he stays safe. He's the better fighter all around in this fight and gets it done on the judge's scorecard. He's the better fighter, in my opinion. More technical, better fighter's IQ here. Should win. Both off 2 losses. Hard to trust either one of them. Now the next one, it's really hard to trust in either one of these women's fighters, but I think Bruna Brazil is showing us a trend. Win, loss, win, loss, win, due for the loss here. I'm taking her to lose the fight. She's favored in this one off a big win to Ming Shi, which was the doctor, I do believe, that had the vicious knockout on the road to UFC. But then she lost to Bruna Brazil. And Brazil lost to Cong Wang, who's on the card. She lost to Luma Lukbumi, unanimous decision. Her win was to Molly McCann and Shauna Bonin. I think Ketlen Souza is a much better fighter. She's off 2 consecutive losses here, and her wins are to 11-1. Yasmin Guergi, it's hard to say her last name, Guergi, submitted her rear naked choke. That was a year ago. And Marnik Mann, unanimous decision win. Pierre Rodriguez, split decision loss most recently for Ketlen Souza, and a split decision loss before that to Angela Hill. This is a girl hungry to get back into the win column. Arguably could have won her last 2 fights. Has fought the better competition, in my opinion. Ketlen Souza is the pick for me. 75% of people on Tapology picking this fight disagree. That's okay. I'm just here to tell you what I'm forecasting and what the Fight Fiend forecast sees on this fight. Official outcome, it's another judge's decision. The next one is where we see a finish. We got Nikolay Veretennikov and Niko Price. And Niko Price on the feed is the complete opposite of a Javid Basharat. He's not technical. He does not have a good fighter's IQ. He's crazy. He's wild, and I don't think his chin can hold up. His durability is not good, in my opinion, and that's where Nikolay Veretennikov's going to take over. Durability for this guy is much better. He went to a decision with Michael Morales a long time ago, but he went to a decision with Michael Morales back in the day. Went to a split decision with Danny Barlow. He got knocked out to Vanderford, but yeah, he got caught in that fight 11 months ago. Most recently lost to Soriano. His win was to Francisco Prado as an underdog, a big split decision win, and then he had a nice knockout on the regional scene to a 9-2 opponent. His name was Ashley. So maybe that doesn't hold too much credibility. But I think Nikolay Veretennikov can find the finish over Niko Price. The price is not right in this fight. He has a lot of kids to pay for. Maybe he goes out there and gets a bonus. He is off 2 losses as well. 1 win out of his last 5. But that's all the more reason to fade this guy at 36 years old, the career he had. He lost to Themba Greenbow. He just got submitted to Jacoby Smith round 2. Knocked out to Robbie Lawler. And that fight gives me flashbacks to this one. Early on the feet, under 1.5. I think Veretennikov can take advantage and find the knockout finish. He's too powerful, too accurate on the feet, and he's moving forward, where Niko Price is going to move forward into a shot with little to no defense and durability. His win was to Alex Morono, who's on this card, so you never know. Maybe he goes out here and gets a win. Veretennikov is 13-7. Not someone I want to be too high on this card, but I gotta have high confidence in him to find a knockout finish over Niko. The price is not right. Price. Knockout's the play. Veretennikov. Now, Alex Morono's next, the Great White. He's next up, and like I said, he lost to Niko Price. He's on a 3-fight losing streak, and it started with the Niko Price loss. Then he lost to Daniil Rodriguez, split decision, not too bad. Knocked out to Carlos Leal, not too bad. You know, those aren't bad losses. The Niko Price loss was bad. He probably shouldn't be plus 400 in this fight. Most recent win, Court McGee, an old Court McGee a year and 9 months ago. It's been a long time since the Great White found a great win, and it's hard to trust in him to actually get the win. But on the other side, minus 600 range, 24 years old, I don't know if I can trust in Daniil Donchenko. Nice win on the tough series there, but I don't know how good the level of competition was, all right? Looking at his regional scene over a year ago, he was coming off a unanimous decision win to a fighter 8-5. And then he submitted a guy 14-9, knocked out a guy 2-2, knocked out a guy 1-2. It gets worse after, before this.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
And I mean, I can't have trust in a guy like this at minus 600. There is a chance at plus 400, 20% probability, Morono goes out here and gets a win. The Great White is due for one off 3 consecutive losses, but I'm not putting big money on him. I am not doing that.
Not up in here!
Oh.
I think he can get a win. 51% confident. He has to be the pick at this price. He has to be the bet for sure. I have the balls to pick him, though. You know, this is where a lot of people are just going to pick the favorite. Obviously, that's the easy play. But looking at the level of competition, I cannot and will not do that at minus 500 to minus 600 range. I'm taking the Great White. You know, I got to do it here. Probably not a great decision, but I got to do it, man. There's value here. He has a better chance than 20% to win this fight. I think he has at least a 50% chance to win. It's a fist fight. It's a fist fight. Anything can happen. And you got to believe Daniil Donchenko is one of the most bet fighters this weekend at the Meta Apex. He's one of the most parlayed fighters this weekend at the Meta Apex. And this fight will end the prelims. So if Alex Morono does not win, he probably does get finished. All right? I'm not damn stupid. I do believe Daniil Donchenko, if he wins, it's dominant fashion. It's round 1 destruction. But I don't believe he should be this big of a favorite. I'm picking the Great White with little confidence. All right? We're on to the main card. Smash the like button if you enjoy the video and the picks. If you don't enjoy the picks, blast me in the comments below. Help me with that algorithm. All comments are good comments. All right. Hashtag F3 in the Prop Fiend show from last week for a chance to win $50 this week on the giveaway wheel. Prop Fiends are live Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern time. Be there. Be square. We're going to be sharp. On with the main card. Let's make it quick. We got Dustin Jacoby and Julius Walker. And I'm just going to give you the pick, how I think the fight's going down. We're running through it quick here. I mean, Dustin Jacoby should run through Julius Walker, the juice box, make easy work of him, knock him out early in this fight. Dustin Jacoby was supposed to fight Jimmy Crute in Australia. Fight got changed up. He's coming off a big win over Bruno Lopez, 14-1. Knocked him out and knocked out Vitor Petrino, 11-1. Two guys that I would rank much higher than Julius Juicebox Walker. So if Julius can win this fight, I would be absolutely shocked, and I would call highway robbery. Julius is 26 years old. He's 11 years younger in this fight, but his level of competition pre-UFC is 7-5, 20-11, and I don't believe he's near in the caliber of a Dustin Jacoby. He's not even in that range. There is levels to this game.
Levels to this fucking game. Go get an orange juice or an apple juice.
And especially at a heavier weight class, it's only going to take a couple punches from Jacoby. Maybe a kick to the head to put out the juice box. Walker ain't walking too long in that one. Jean Matsumoto and Farid Basharat is a low confidence pick like you heard on the show earlier. The other Basharat brother was my pick. Low confidence. I don't want to bet this fight. I'm picking them both here to win a decision. Jean Matsumoto has a ton of value, though, in this fight. He's 17-1. Kind of like Eduarda Moura. Very good fighter. Price tag a little wide. You got to think the bookies know something. Bookies are on to something. A fighter this pretty of a record should not be plus 170, plus 180 range, and they are. So I don't think they're going to win. Now, Jean Matsumoto is coming off 2 split decision wins. His fights tend to be close. His level of output and volume is sketchy, and it's hard to trust when betting on him. He's showing us that he can be hit, he can be taken down, but he's not too bad. He can work on that. He's only 26 years old, and we could see a much different version of Gene Matsumoto in this fight. We could see the same version that would probably just lose a decision to Farid Basharat. Farid Basharat is on a 14-0 win streak. He's 14-0 professionally undefeated here, and he's very technical. His fighter's IQ is through the roof, and he knows how to win decisions. He knows how to score points on the judges' scorecards. He even has a nice submission win to Clayton Rodriguez. On the ground, his grappling is much better than his brother's. This is the better Basharat brother, so I do have a little bit more faith in him to pull off the win here. And he has a 3-inch reach advantage, and he's training with a lot of good guys at American Top Team, where Gene Matsumoto is at Inside Muay Thai, a smaller gym. That's probably why the bookies have him as such a big underdog compared to what I would have thought here. Farid Basharat and his brother train at American Top Team, which is a very good gym, and they're training with a lot of great guys each and every day. Good coaching too. Should help him in this fight to get the win. Michal Oleksiejczuk, he made the move, a good move, to fighting nerds. Now, the coaching and the people that he's training with should help him win this fight quite easily, in my opinion. Marc-Andre Barriault is 1 win out of his last 5 fights, and that 1 win was to Bruno Silva, who got put on a stretcher in that one, I do believe. Other than that, he got styled on to Nurmagomedov. He got knocked out to Dustin Stolfus, Joe Pyfer, and lost a split decision to Chris Curtis. Now, Marc-Andre Barriault, the power bar, has a small path to victory here. It's wrestle, and I don't even know if the Vegas judges are going to score that. You got to do something with the takedowns, and I don't think Marc-Andre Barriault does enough. Oleksiejczuk going to be working on his grappling a lot more now, training at the Fighting Nerds. He knows how to get up, he knows how to avoid the takedowns, and on the feet he can knock guys out. That is what he does. Let's pull up Michal Oleksiejczuk here. He has 16 knockout wins, 1 submission, and 4 decisions. And out of those 16 knockouts, 13 of them in round 1. So if it's a round 1 knockout, not shocked. If he can unanimously win this fight by a decision, I'm not shocked either. No matter where this fight goes, it's Michal Oleksiejczuk's fight to win as a favorite here. The locks are locked for Platinum forecasters only, so hit the link in the description below. The locks will not be free in Discord or on Instagram. They will be locked for Platinum forecasters only this week. Although Yiza didn't pull off the win last week, Patty the Batty failed us the week before. The locks are still locked, and we're getting into the win column this week. So make sure you smash the links in the description below. You got 1 lock, and it's Michal Oleksiejczuk. Polish power incoming. Now we got Jailton Almeida and Rizvan Kunayev at heavyweight. And one hell of a fucking fight this is. I mean, you got one guy that's grapple heavy, and one guy who got caught for steroids in the past, but can still throw a punch. Now what's going to happen in this fight? It's going one of 2 ways. I think Jailton Almeida makes it look like the Derek Lewis fight where he grapples, lays on top of Rizvan Kunayev the whole fight, and wins. Does not find a submission. The other hand of this fight would be Rizvan Kunayev making this look like the Curtis Blades fight, where Curtis Blades kind of lost round 1, but round 2 he stopped the takedowns of Jailton Almeida and showed Jailton had no striking and got knocked out looking helpless. So I think kind of that situation's going to happen. Kunayev, round 2, knockout. He just went to a split decision with Curtis Blades. Very good performance there. Curtis Blades just knocked out Jailton Almeida round 2. And Jailton lost his last fight to Volkov, where once again he had to go to a decision. He was grapple heavy. His striking wasn't great. And if Kunayev can land the shot, I think he is the harder hitter. At heavyweight, I'm picking the harder hitter here, and that's who I think the UFC will be pushing. Jailton Almeida has been on a run. He's been a well-known guy, but I don't think he can sell at heavyweight, and I don't know if he's going to really ever get a title shot. If he loses this fight, he's going to be waiting for a while at 34 for a title shot. Maybe he might be waiting forever, honestly, if he does not win this fight. The belt does not look to be in his future, Jailton Almeida. Rizvan Kunaev, on the other hand, you know, he wants to bounce back at 33 in a big way. He knocked out Hugo Kuna on Dana White's Contender Series, and then he beat a bunch of bums before that. 4 years ago, knocked out a guy on Dana White's Contender Series, and Eagle FC, he submitted Anthony Hamilton, who was 18-10, so his level of competition is not great. At heavyweight, he obviously can land the heavier shot here to win the fight. Curtis Blades was a good showing in his last fight. We'll see what happens here. Maybe not a dog of the week play for me, so stay forecasted on Instagram, and I'm going to let you know the dog of the week very soon. Kunaev is the pick. Can't trust in Jailton Almeida striking. And I can't trust that the judges are going to score his takedowns if he's not getting many of them, making it look dominant. You know, yeah, he knocked out Sergey Spivak, submitted Romanov, but they're fat, slow heavyweights where Kunaev honestly could be too. We just don't know enough about Kunaev yet, which is why it's worth the gamble at plus money. We just don't know what to expect from Kunaev. He used to be on roids. He was off the roids, not looking good. He looked a little better in his last fight. Who fucking knows? He could be back on the roids looking like a champion. This fight. They could be telling Jailton Almeida not to wrestle this fight. That'd be fucking something. If they did, I would want Kunaev as my pick, so I'm going to pick him just in case they're whispering that to Jailton Almeida. Hopefully they do. We're going to need them to win this fight, maybe. That's all right. I'm willing to take the underdog in some fights, unlike other cappers. You know, I'll take the underdog where I see a path to victory, a serious path to victory, above 50%. I'll put the pick on the line. Even if I had a good week last week, I'll still put a pick on the line if I think they have a serious chance to win. I'm not just going to sit here and pick a favorite because they're the favorite. Or basically just picking favorites because they're favored to win, you know. I feel like a lot of people are sitting here doing that. It's pretty easy just to pick all favorites every week, but I'm not doing that. And you've seen me pick big underdogs before, like last week, Tai Tuivasa. You know, and that's why the first 3 fights, we had 2 underdogs to start the night, and not many people were on those underdogs. Fight Fiend was. I was willing to take a chance, unlike other people. And I'm willing to predict every fight, unlike others. Now, you got to respect people predicting each and every fight. Yeah, they're not official UFC fights, but they're on the UFC 325 event, which is getting tracked and recorded. You got 200 people giving out picks, and 10 people don't predict the 3 road to the UFC fights, and then those people get landed in the upper echelon of highest percentages of the week, most accurate predictors. That's incorrect, because those people could have went 9 for 13. Or 10 for 13 if they predicted the road to the UFC fights. They're on the event. It's not a UFC fight tracker. It's a UFC event tracker. UFC 325 had those road to the UFC fights. Anytime there's a road to the UFC fight on a UFC event, I'm going to give my pick as other cappers do, and they get recorded on each and every pick from the UFC prediction tracker. So check him out. He's putting in a lot of work, but you got to respect people picking each and every fight. You know, if you're leaving off fights that are sketchy and just leaving them off because they're 50-50 fights, I mean, you got no balls. And you probably shouldn't be breaking down fights, and people should not be listening to you. All right? I'm here to give you a breakdown on each and every fight, try my best. And sometimes my best isn't good, but at least I'm trying. And at least I give out every pick. Alright, no need to ramble on. We got 2 fights left. If you like Fight Fiend forecast, you're going to subscribe. You're going to tune in and stay forecasted. And you know I'm a man of my word giving out money to my community each and every week. You know I'm a man of my word giving out a pick on each and every fight. Trying to show you the confidence level, the method of victory. So this is why people are going to tune in. If not now, tomorrow. Co-main event, Amir Albazi, 17-2, off a loss. Off a loss, is going to have a tough fight here to Kyoji Horiguchi. Horiguchi, in this fight, was a big underdog who dropped the bone like Benson upstairs. You know, he really put it on Tagir Ulanbekov, dropping the bone, getting it done as the dog of the week, submitting Tagir in round 3. Now, at his age 35, his return to the UFC was really inspiring, and it was all hype. If you say no hype, you're bullshit. You're bullshit. Bunch of bullshit. That Tagir win was all hype. Kyoji Horiguchi price tag is all hype. And now he has to live up to it at minus 340. This guy is all hype right now. He beat a guy 16-6 at Ryzen a year ago, unanimous decision. 23-6, unanimous decision. Before that, now, I think he wins this fight by a decision. His last fight was a finish, but it was later, round 3. He gets another tough fighter, Amir Albazi, who was in a main event fight, his last fight, against a high-level former champion, Brandon Moreno. So this is a guy that's not willing to quit easy. He's tough and durable, and he's as good as they come at 125. This is a guy close to a title shot as well before that loss to Brandon Moreno. Now, either guy can get back into the conversation. Horiguchi more likely to get pushed than the other, looking at the price tag here. So I'm going to pick him to win. He was my pick last time as an underdog. So this time as a favorite, I'm not just picking him because he's the favorite, just because he won the last fight and upset my pick. I had Horiguchi last time as an underdog, made some good money on him. So I'm really liking his chances to see the gold in the future. Rather if he gets the win when he gets to the belt opportunity or not, I think he does get a chance at a title shot before he retires. He's 35 and he has a lot of fuel left in the tank. Co-main event fight, he has to live up to the hype right here, right now. He really does need to live up to the hype at this price tag. Now, the main event is all hype. It is all hype. You got Mario Batista off a loss to Umar Nurmagomedov, where he almost found the finish. He had some submission attempts on Umar. On the feet, he wasn't looking bad. He wasn't just pushing Umar up against the fence. He was fighting for everybody's dollar. Now, in this fight, he should once again. And he's fighting someone that likes to find finishes. His last 3 fights, all unanimous decisions. 3-round fights, improving on his cardio. And that's Vinicius Oliveira. This guy's a new fighter in the UFC. He is 4 fights in officially now. His 5th fight, he gets a main event fight. High-level fighter, Mario Batista. And I just think it's too tall of a task. The bite is too big. Batista is going to bomb away and be the better striker in this fight. And if the striking ain't working for Batista, well, he's going to start bombing away on takedowns, and he's going to find the takedowns. And later in this fight is where I think he will take advantage on the ground. You know, once the grappling gets going and the gas tank drains of Vinicius Oliveira, I think he is very live to get submitted in this fight, ground and pounded out of there. So I'm kind of looking at a later finish for Mario Batista, minus 200 price tag. Fought the better competition, without a doubt. Fought very good in a loss in his last fight to Umar Nurmagomedov. Yeah, they're kind of giving him a treat, is what it seems to me. Giving him a treat, main event fight, winnable fight, finishable fight, a bonus on the line, possibly. And maybe he gets another chance at working his way up to a title shot. A lot of these fights for an Apex card has big implications on the line, but I don't think we should bet too heavy. A lot of these fights are low confidence for me. A lot of them are very volatile. Could go either way. I'm just here to give you my pick and prediction. I actually took a chance on a couple underdogs like Kunaev, Priscila Cachoeira, and honestly not feeling too comfortable on some of the picks. Some of the favorites could easily lose. And even fighters that go out there and win the fight could lose in a judge's decision. So always manage the bankroll wisely on these fights, on any type of sport bets you do. You never know when an upset can happen or an underdog pulls it off when they really shouldn't. Things happen. That's the game. That's why we all manage the bankroll wisely. And the bankroll management stays king. Now, we talk about the bankroll management in Discord, absolutely free. Hit the link in the description below. All the bets are in the links there too. Hit Patreon. It's a channel where you can go and see the bets, the picks with the confidence levels, method of victories, and we're doing all sport bets. We're doing a forecast of the day each and every day. Now, last night we swept the board 2 for 2, and the Zodiac forecast went 2 for 2. Now, looking at the Zodiac forecast, which is offered each and every fight night, I'm coding a couple fights, decoding the fights, and letting you know the gematria codes that I find. Now, they might not be a bet, each and every code, I'm just letting you know the information. But on some of these fights, I do place a bet and have bets out for Zodiac forecasters. If I code 6 fights, might bet on 2 of them. Might bet on 3 of them. I could bet on all of them. Now, take a look at Benoit Saint Denis. I think I'm getting a lot better at the gematria stuff, because you got to think the round 2 knockout was right here in front of me. You look at the Volkanovski fight, the decision was right here in front of me. You look at the Quillen Salkild fight, the submission was right here in front of me. And yeah, the numerology and gematria has been good to me. I'm going to continue to learn from my losses and get better. So it's definitely worth hitting the links in the description below. This information is key if you're betting on these fights. I know a lot of people are pretty confident in Diego Lopez. A lot of people pretty high on Quillen Salkild by knockout. And Dan Hooker was a live underdog for some people as well. So if you have access to this information, you'd be more wise with the bankroll and maybe willing to take the other side or hedge opportunity. Okay, it's information that's very good to have, and it's great having each and every forecaster tune in each and every event. So if you want to get back from the forecast, put hashtag F3 on the last Prop Fiend show. The next one is Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. We're doing a giveaway wheel, giving out $50. So from the last Prop Fiend show, which is in the live section of the channel, you got to check out the live section of the channel, a lot of videos there. You can put the hashtag F3 on the last Prop Fiend show to enter this week to win $50. Now, some of the full card prediction videos are in the live channel section. So go over, check out the live videos that we have been doing on the channel. We got more coming out. We're going to do a UFC White House video this coming week or weekend, I do believe. I want to talk about some stuff on the White House, maybe some other drama around the UFC we can talk about. We got the Olympics coming up. We're going to do a live stream on the Olympics. We got the Super Bowl this weekend coming up. So stay forecasted. There might be a possible fun Super Bowl live stream from Fight Fiend. So thanks everybody for staying forecasted. Hopefully you win that $50 if you're entering. And we'll see you Friday for the Prop Fiend show. F3 is out. Peace.